Steelers had another Boswell-palooza, and that was enough to beat the Ravens because they have Lamar Jackson's number. Do they ever? Dare I say, Lamar or the Steelers to Lamar are like the Browns to Burrow, where Lamar has his way against most, but not them. Mm-hmm. And Burrow has his way against most, but not the Browns. And the Browns, as you know, have Myles Garrett, who likes to put his stamp on Burrow when he can. The Steelers have the T.J. Watt stamp, and he likes applying it to Lamar Jackson. He had a sack, 2 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for loss against the Ravens. Watt now has 17 career sacks against Baltimore, 8.5 more sacks than any other player against Baltimore since 2017. And the guy who is second is Myles Garrett. Man, that guy, T.J. Watt, he's just amazing. And the Steelers defense as a whole, because let's talk about that. That's the difference here, or one of the many differences. We'll get to the others in a second. Because the Ravens came into this game as the 3rd team in NFL history with at least 20 points per game and 375 yards or more of total offense in the first 10 games of a season. The other 2 were the Peyton Manning MVP-led 2013 Broncos and the Marshall Faulk MVP-led 2000 Rams. And that's the Ravens team that came into their house and scored a season-low 16 points. Baltimore led the league with 31.8 points per game through the first 10 weeks. And the Steelers came out with the first forced fumble and recovery on Derrick Henry since week 16 of 2022. Second play of the game. Led to just 3, though. Led to just 3. And they wound up being all over the Ravens and got just enough of offense in between the 20s to get it done. And the Steelers are 8-2. How about that? Russ is 4-0 as starter of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Mike Tomlin, he's not just going to eke out another winning record, is he?
Not this year.
Not this year. And he is just stirring the pot, man. He's stirring it up. I just love what he's doing right now.
We're not going to apologize for winning.
He's not. He came up with another one of those. Do we have that soundbite, or is that all part of one, Mike Hoskins? All these. Yeah, that one, the stirring it up. And the offense. This is great. You got the offense one? Let's do that. He's not apologizing. Go for it. Hit it.
We did what we always do, to be quite honest with you. You better play hard, fast, and together when you play this group and when you play Mr. Jackson. His talents are unique. Their schematics are unique. And forget the minutia of what it is you do. You better play hard, fast, and together. You got no shot, and we always start there.
How do you evaluate your offense then in this game?
W.
W. Yep. You look at the standings, wherever you get your standings, on your phone, your computer, wherever you get it, or on our screen. There's no pictures. I don't see any photographs. W. 8-2. With a 1.5 game lead in division on the Ravens. And they held serve. I love how he calls him Mr. Jackson. By the way, did you know he was calling Lamar Mr. Jackson all week? That's a sign of respect. That, yeah. Did you see that? Uh-huh.
Rich, you mentioned T.J. Watt, of course.
Yes.
But this was Patrick Queen revenge game.
Well, he had a heck of a game as well. As you know, he ripped one out of the hands. Was it likely he ripped one out of his hands? That was a big play, big turnover. And then Tomlin certainly stirred it up as well. Just took the pin out of this one and lobbed it right at the Ravens afterwards on Patrick Queen.
What can you say about Queen?
you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, man. I'm glad he is on our team.
Now listen, I know I know they didn't offer him, right? And Queen came on our show and he was circling this game. Call him trash. I don't think the Ravens were viewing him as refuse.
No, but I'm sure
to be left out on a certain day of the week when it's pickup time.
I'm sure maybe that's how Coach was giving it to him all week.
Oh, baby. That's coaching, man.
Team defense, too. I mean, they've given up the second fewest points in the league.
Now, my concern would be, just again, I know offense is W, is that Russ, for the first time, wasn't just hitting his back foot all the time and getting rid of it and just moving it along. He threw that one interception in the end zone that damn near cost him. Yeah. They could have gotten another Boswell field goal out of it and made it a much easier game for themselves. But he just,
bad pick.
I mean, so you're seeing some of the Russ of recent old, you know, where he had to look for receiver 2 and 3, not hitting his back foot, and then he was running for his life. It wasn't as in rhythm as we saw in Washington, D.C. last week or against the 2 New York teams who play in New Jersey. Sorry, Bills fans. So, you know, that's why he was asked about the offense, and then he says W, and now they're going to just turn right around and flush this and go right into Cleveland on a Thursday night. Yeah. Jameis coming off of a 9,000-yard performance against his former team, albeit in a loss in New Orleans. We've been talking about it. They got to make hay before their Week 11 because that's when the division stuff starts. They entered that stretch at 7-2, and they won their first against Baltimore. Man, it's fun. Steelers are in the mix. Always more fun when the Steelers are really good, and they're really good. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.